Let's look finally at the last objection in the list. Objection 5. Annihilationism dampens evangelistic zeal. Now, I find that this objection is not only fallacious, but disconcerting. The objection here is that, well, if people are only just going to die, if they're just going to burn away into nothingness, then that's going to take the wind out of the sails of a lot of Christians to evangelize. Well, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm just as concerned about snatching people from a fire that consumes as I was a fire that eternally torments. Now, I have been a traditionalist most of my life. I've always just kind of assumed that this is what eternal torment is, what hell was. After all, it's what people, it's what all of the preachers preached. It's what all the theologians seemed to teach, and I had no reason to doubt it until a couple of years ago. And I thought, gosh, eternal torment, that's horrible. I really don't want people to experience this. I want people to go to heaven. That was a real motivating factor for me to share the gospel. But when I was convinced that annihilationism was true, I didn't find that my evangelistic zeal dampened one bit. Because for people to not experience the love of God for all eternity and to burn to death and be reduced to ashes and not feel anything for the rest of eternity, that's not good. Whether the punishment is eternal torment or annihilation, I want people to be rescued from either of these fates, because neither of these are good. Whether somebody's just going to experience torment for maybe 5 minutes before they go out of existence, or whether it's going to be for an eternity. Torture or death, neither of these are good alternatives. In fact, in episode 7 of the Rethinking Hell podcast, Chris Date gave this illustration, and it really stuck with me. I thought it was a good point. He said, to imagine that your brother commits a crime, and you believe that the prison he's going to be sent to, that they are going to torture him every minute of every day for the rest of his life. This is a horrifying thought. He's going to be tortured every minute of every day for the rest of his life. He's not even going to be allowed to sleep. And so you want to rescue him from this so badly. You do everything you can to persuade him not to commit the crime, or if he's accused of the crime, you do everything you can to try to convince the judge and jury that he's not guilty. But you do everything you can to get him, to keep him from going to prison, because you think he's going to be tortured. But let's say instead that you find out that he's not going to be tortured, but instead you find out that he's going to die. He's going to be given the death penalty. Now, would you just say, oh well, it's the death. He's not going to be tortured. He's just going to be given the death penalty. No need for me to be so concerned. No. Oh, I just remembered. It wasn't. I'm mixing metaphors. The example he gave was a drug. Imagine that your brother took a drug that you believed was going to cause him to experience torment every minute of every day for the rest of your life, but instead you find out that the drug is just going to kill him. Would you say, oh well, it's just going to kill him? No need for me to sweat over it. No, you would be incredibly callous if that was your attitude. There would be something morally deficient with you if you tried to not persuade your brother to not take that drug, or, in the other example, to not commit that crime. Now, this goes into my next point for why I find it disconcerting. This, have you heard it said that sometimes an objection tells you more about the objectioner than it does about the topic in question or the objection itself, or how the question tells you more about the questioner? This is one of those times. It really seems to me that traditionalists who make this point are inadvertently admitting that they're apathetic about, or they would be apathetic about people's souls if what was going to happen to them wasn't eternal torture, but annihilation. That, to me, is bothersome. I think if you have ever made this objection to annihilationism, I think you need to do some introspection, and I think you need to pray about this. I think this could be a real spiritual problem